Hello all, myself Dr. Shanti Verma. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss requirement engineering task part 2. In the part 1 of this series, I have already discussed the inception and the elicitation requirement engineering task. Let's start this lecture with the learning objectives. At the end of this session, you are able to know the 7 distinct requirement engineering tasks. You have to understand the elaboration, negotiation, specification, validation, and the requirement management task. We already discussed these 7 distinct requirement engineering tasks are inception, elicitation. These inception and elicitation I already discussed in requirement engineering task part 1 videos. In this lecture, I am going to discuss elaboration, negotiation, specification, validation, and requirement management. So, start with the elaboration requirement engineering task. Basically, elaboration is a one analysis model. In this analysis model, there are three different layers. The first is a data model, the second is a functional model, and third is a behavioral model. Now let's discuss the elements of the elaboration task. The intent of the analysis model is to provide a description of the required, that is the informational, functional and the behavioral domains for the computer based system. For that there are four elements are used. First is a scenario based, second is a class based, third is a behavior elements, and fourth is a flow oriented elements. Let's discuss all this. Scenario based means you have to write scenarios that are depicted in the use cases and the activity diagrams. In class based, you have to identify the domains or the classes, objects manipulated by the actors and utilize the class diagrams to do this. In behavior, you have to use a state diagrams that are used to represent the state of a system. The events that cause the system is a change state, and the actions that are taken as a result of a particular event. The flow diagrams or the flow oriented elements use a data flow diagrams, and it shows the input data that comes into a system. What functions are applied to that to do the transformation, and what resulting output are to be produced. So all these types of the elements are used in an analysis. Basically, in this figure, you can summarize the analysis model. In the scenario-based elements, you have to use the use cases, activity diagrams, or the swim lanes. For flow-oriented elements, you have to use the DFDs, control flow diagrams, and you have to processing the narratives. Class-based, you have to define the class diagrams or the collaboration diagrams, and for the behavioral elements you have to draw a state diagrams or the sequence diagram. Now let's discuss what is the analysis pattern. So basically certain problems reoccur across all the projects with a specified application domain. So these analysis patterns are basically the classes, functions or the behavior that to be resumed when using many applications. Information about an analysis pattern is presented in a standard template. Analysis patterns are integrated into a analysis model by reference to the pattern name. Now let's discuss the negotiation. Negotiation is basically when the software engineers reconciles the conflicts between the what the customer want and what can be achieved given limited business resources. Basically, the requirements are ranked or the prioritized by the customers, users, and the other stakeholders. Risk associated with the each requirements are identified and analyzed in the negotiation phase. Rough guesses of the development efforts are made and used to assess the impact of each requirement on project cost and the delivery time. You can use a iterative approach. Requirements are eliminated, combined or modified so that each party achieves some measures of satisfaction. So basically negotiation is between the customer and the developer for what customer want and what can be achieved in a given business resources. The art of negotiation includes the identification of the systems or the subsystems key stakeholders, determination of the stakeholders for the win conditions, negotiation of the stakeholders win conditions to reconcile them into a set of win-win conditions for all concerned including the software team. Now let's discuss the specification. Basically, the specification is the final work product produced by the requirement engineer, and it is formally in the form of the SRS, that is a software requirement specification. It serves as the foundation for subsequent requirement engineering tasks or activities, and it describes the function and the performance of a computer based system and the constraints that will govern its deployment. It formalizes the informational, functional and behavioral requirements of the proposed software in both a graphical and a textual format. Now let's discuss validation. Basically, validation is used in access the quality, and the specification is examined to ensure that all software requirements have been stated ambiguously. There is no inconsistencies, no errors, and all errors, if there is any errors, it is detected and corrected. The work products conforms to the standard established for the process, the project or the product. The technical review serve as a preliminary requirements. Uh, basically, in validation, there are some questions. Uh, some examples are: is each requirements consistent with the overall objective of the system of the product? In the first step, inception, we define the objectives of the system. So you have to check that the requirements consistent with the objective. Second, have all requirements have been specified at the proper level of abstraction. So you have to check that is do some requirements provide a level of technical detail that is inappropriate at this stage. You have to check that requirement really necessary or does it represent in an add-on feature. Is the requirement bounded and unambiguous? Does each requirement have attribution? That is a source generally used. So you have to check all these questions in validation phase. Uh, you have to also check that do any requirements conflict with other requirement? Requirements achievable in a technical environment or not? All requirements are testable once implemented or not? Does the requirement model properly reflect the information, function and the behavior of the system? Use the use of patterns to simply the requirements model and the validation of the requirements. So all these questions you have to address in the validation phase. Now the last requirement engineering task is a requirements management. Basically, during requirement management, the project team performs a set of activities to identify, control and track requirements and changes the requirement at any time as the project proceeds. Each requirement assigned a unique identifier. The requirements are then placed into one or more traceability tables. These tables may be stored in a databases that relates features, sources, subsystems and interfaces to the requirement. A requirement traceability table is also placed at the end of the software requirement specification. So, after completing the requirement engineering task, you have to make a SRS, that is a software requirement specification that we discuss in the next video lecture. There are some questions as an assignment. Explain the elements of the analysis model in detail. Explain the different questions to ask when validating the requirement and write a short note on negotiation. For more learning, you can refer these references. Thank you.